Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Nitro Addiction. Today we are going to be working on the NB48.4. So, I don't know that I've really showed this much, but so especially when I have a the power hooked up to it and cranking this servo. I got the table bouncing, can't see it anyways. But as the servo's pulling, can you see I don't know if you can see that tray moving or not. See if I can hold the camera still. Zoom in here. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but it has some flex to it. So, I don't know how much of it is that this thing is supposed to flex, and how much of it is, like you can see here, the way I've got this, you can kind of see this little zip tie here, and then this one here. I don't know if any of you have ever ran into a zip tie that had a sharp edge on it before, but they will slice you open. And every time I reached out here to grab it, I poke myself in the finger. It's just, I want to go ahead and replace it. So, a couple of different reasons there, but anyways, we'll see when we put the new one on, if it's supposed to have some flex. And if it does, that's fine. I just want to make sure that I've got it screwed down tight. There's going to be a lot of torque on this with that spring on there. I think you can kind of see it there. I mean, it's hard to tell. But anyways, so that's what we're going to be doing today, is swapping out this radio tray. Basically everything on top, all the wiring, everything's going to stay the same. It's going to go right back in here. I'm just replacing this bottom piece, the housing for everything. It's all one piece. So let's get started. So first of all, we will take apart the servo. Or take the take the horn off the servo anyways. So there's that. And this one, and then where is my 1.5? There it is, right in front of me. If we can get in here. Hope I'm not blocking too much of the light. Yeah, either get the light set up on one side and work from the other and block it, or I move it around, move the light, and then I've got the RC flipped around. I'm always blocking out the light. Struggles of trying to do a video, huh? Okay, so there's that. Make sure I don't lose the screw. Okay, so the servo horns are... So really that's all you got to do to get this tray out, is you pop off the servo horns, and then everything else comes from the bottom. So, let's see if I can angle this up a little bit. Yeah, this, it's just like a little tiny cheap tripod with a plastic phone holder on it, and it's kind of worn out, so it likes to fall, go where I don't want it to. So we got to remove this screw, I think this is a part of it, this might be part of it. That's the center diff. This screw, these two are for the fuel tank. So these two, actually this one and this one are the fuel tank. This one is a part of the tray. So got my trusty Milwaukee. Always want to make sure you're going the right direction so you don't strip out your plastic, even though this one's already stripped. Oh, that is for the steering. I'm gonna have to put some more Loctite on that to make sure it don't go anywhere. I've been wanting to change these out for quite a while. I think this screw here as well. Let's see, this is the short chassis brace, this is the long chassis brace, so it's just, I'll hit that one last so it don't fall out on me. Alright, there you have it. So this works temporarily. I mean, it's just a piece of zip tie. It's just trash. Sometimes you can do it to get by for a little bit. It's not really a long-term solution. But it does work for a little bit. So now we'll get the buggy over here out of the way. Let me zoom out. Alright, so can't even get these in the frame. So this is a pair of basically that and that side piece there. So radio tray and mudguard set left and right side, NB48, NT48. So, and I've already gotten a new pair of these. I used for the truggy on part of it, and then I used, I put the other piece over there on that side. So, let me get you guys back into this spot. This blade's getting dull. Oh, sorry guys, anybody that's interested, TKR 5317. Somebody the other day, it just came up listed as B. I didn't see their full YouTube name. 5317, yeah, that's right. But they asked how readily available parts for this thing are. I haven't had any issues finding parts for it. You can look on eBay right now and pretty much find everything. I haven't had trouble finding one part for this. And again, it was 3 years ago that I bought most of the parts, but I have looked here recently and pretty much you can find everything. They got it mixed in with like the 2.0 and 2.1 stuff. Those are more available. You can find those pretty much anywhere, even some hobby stores, hobby towns will have them. But as far as these, I haven't had any issues finding parts for these. So this here's the piece that we're going to trade out. So there you have it. Oh, I guess I need to show you, since the camera wasn't angled down to it. But let's see. All right, stay there. So, and again, use the drill at your own risk. I know for a fact I have it in reverse. I use these all the time at work. It's part of my job. So I have a pretty good idea of which way the buttons need to be to make sure it works right. Just, make sure you don't have it in the forward position, because you will strip out your plastics. But after you work on so many RCs and turn them screwdrivers and wrenches so many times, it gets old. Sorry, it gets old. So this is a good little alternative. It's easier on the hands. Just got to be careful is all. Make sure you know what you're doing. Just like when we're running our rigs, we have throttle control with our controller. Same thing with this, especially when you're putting screws back in. Got to make sure you have trigger control with it. Let's see if I can. All right, sorry, I'm trying to keep it in frame. And I'm one of those people that's just so used to doing this stuff by myself and having to worry about where the camera's at. Sometimes I forget, so bear with me. Of course, when you're taking them out, it's not as big of a deal. The main thing you need to be careful of is when you're putting them back. So, if I haven't showed you guys before, here's the ProTech 2600. It is a 2-cell or 2S LiPo. Well, I say that, LIHV. Pretty sure when I bought it, talked about it being a LiPo. I don't know. I guess correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It's got a balance port on it. It doesn't say Lifey. Not 100%. Oh, there it is. Let's see. We got lithium polymer battery pack. So lithium polymer LiPo, same thing. So yes, I am correct. There's a LiPo. And just like any other LiPo, even on these little ones, like you have to have a proper charger for doing any LiPo battery. Oh, one more screw hiding down there, right here. Okay. So easy enough that I'll just. I guess I didn't need to take all those screws out. So the odd thing about the way they make these is one side screws into the cover, the other side screws into the base. I keep looking at this as I'm talking about it. I need to make sure I got it in camera here. So it screws right into the to the cover here, which I'm actually gonna go ahead and put those back in so it doesn't, so I don't lose my my direction of it, because all this is going right back in as is. One thing I want to do is clean up that on-off switch a little bit. Oh. There we go. So, one thing that looks like I missed when I was cleaning this was either I missed this piece, or I think I might have even traded this out with something, because I needed the wire that was in here, and I just put in the cheesy little wire. Since it's just a dummy switch on here, I don't I use that LiPo switch. Which is, this is what I use. But, so I'll set that aside. I really do like the way they set up these battery trays, as opposed to most vehicles that you find. They, it's a pain in the butt. You got to do all this while it's in the car. With these, take it out of the car, So this is kind of tight. There we go. So gotta wedge it up just right. But take this whole assembly out of the car. It's just so much easier. The person that had it before me put pads in there. This one does not come with padding. They just put double-sided tape for that one. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get them out. This should be fine without it. So, get this back on camera. So it's got this little rubber end here. You gotta be careful because you don't want it pulling out and damaging your wires. I've had that before with the cheaper models. These, it's more expensive ones, especially the Savox, are usually pretty good about not just coming apart real easy. So here's that. Now we'll go ahead and put these screws back in. Come on, get in the hole. Alright, like I was talking about with trigger control. Gotta go real slow. Make sure we're not stripping it out. Sorry if that was mostly off camera. Had to make sure I could see what I was doing. Make sure I'm not stripping it out. Even just tighten this by hand. This plastic strips out really easy. I don't like how soft that feels. I feel like you can't get it tight. But if you keep trying, you are going to strip it. Okay, so there's the steering. Now, this is really the only wire that's going to go, it's going to make it all the way through. The rest of these, just got to find a way to tuck them in here. Make sure that they're not hung up. Now we just gently finish it off with the hand driver. I think part of the reason it feels squishy and feels like it could still keep turning it, but you're worried about stripping it, I think it's because of these rubber bushings on here, because, I mean, I know I'm not bottomed out in it. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but you just want to be real careful when using a drill. And what I'm trying to accomplish here is just tucking these wires back in, except they don't really want to go. I don't need these wires out here, they're just in the way. It gets confusing when you're trying to plug in your servos and all these wires look alike. You give me one of these switches that's bad and just cut everything off of it. Alright, I think I'll leave that one hang out just because I don't feel like fighting it. Okay. Little tiny short screw. Another little tiny short screw. Okay, so now all those screws are in place. Just finish them off with this. Yeah, you gotta be super gentle with these. Not quite as bad as RPM though. RPM, for as great and flexible as it is very very soft, which is what makes it so flexible. Get out of the way. Alright, so that wire's just going to be in a way. Now that we can do with it, go ahead and put our battery back in. So I don't have a receiver for this yet, so it's just going to get tucked in. Thought I had a longer straw for this. I guess not. And I can't forget, and this other piece here, oh, I've already taken it out, never mind. There's a little tiny grub screw that locks that antenna in. I swear I got a longer piece here somewhere. I don't know where it went. Might have fallen, but anyways. And I don't know, hopefully this weekend I'll get another receiver. Take this back apart. I'm just gonna fully assemble it just so you can, just for visual. Alright, now okay, get in there. Also, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that all your wires are tucked down inside, not getting pinched. I'm sure we've all been there once or twice. It's not a good thing. And this one is bent. Let's see, maybe this is the right one. Here we go. Okay, so I've got it all rewired, screwed down, installed. And all left to do is put it in the car. Let's see. That's for one of the servos, that's for one of the servos, that one's extra. So now get my 2.5 back out. It's so nice, these screws just going in and holding like they're supposed to and not having to mess with them stupid pieces of zip ties. Yeah, that's just kind of a quick fix. Hold you over for a minute. It's definitely not a permanent fix. Sorry guys, can't even see what I'm doing. Alright, stay there, camera. Come on, car, stay there. Stay on there. One more here that tried to run away. Okay, so now that's all the screws have been put in. Now we'll just tighten these down by hand so we don't strip out our brand new plastic. I think Techno needs to make these holes just a hair smaller in that plastic. I feel like they're already loose. And you go and tighten down the screw and it doesn't feel like you're getting it tight, and then you end up stripping it. But anyways, that makes me feel better. I don't have all them stupid zip ties in there. Does that front one go tighter? Oops. Yep, there we go. Okay, now of course I'm gonna have to reset this all whenever I get the controller hooked up to it. Loctite these screws in. If not, they'll work their way out, and then the servo horn gets loose, and then it strips the teeth. Had that happen before, so if it's got metal geared servo horn on it, use Loctite. Let's see. I always feel like I'm gonna strip out these little tiny screws. But yeah, just like the throttle, I'll have to make sure these are centered and go through the process of getting it on there right before I actually get to run it. Okay. Alright, there we have it. Quick fix. Getting closer and closer with this thing. So now, it still has some flex to it. I can't hold the car still enough so that you guys can see it, but I can still see a little bit of flex. Maybe it's designed for that. Maybe not. I don't know. But the main thing is all these screws now are good and tight, and they're not stripped out, not having to use little tiny pieces of zip tie plastic. So I think that's the end of it there. Got that back, everything's in place. So if you have any questions, if you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned and see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.